Good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is LeBlue with the Overeasy team. Tonight, I have with me our raid leader Sylvanus, as well as our hunter Leiva. He plays Beast Mastery and Survival for us. We'll be going over our past week of progression, how we felt about the farm, our progression bosses, and kind of seeing how we feel about this coming week of progression as well. Before we get going, I would like to have Leiva introduce himself a little bit. Go ahead and tell us when you started playing, when you started raiding, and how you came to the CTR guild.
Yeah, I started playing back in May 2005. Didn't really do much of note. I think I cleared MC one time, quit, and then came back for Burning Crusade. Again, I mostly just PvP'd. Quit again, came back a little bit for Wrath of the Lich King. Ended up doing Ice Crown Citadel for a little bit. Quit again, didn't do a whole lot in Cataclysm, and now I'm back in Mist Pandaria. It's really my first time raiding seriously and consistently. I joined CDR back in February, I believe, and I hooked up with the Overeasy team soon after. And yeah, it's been a great experience. I think the CTR guild did exactly what, they had promised. They, allowed me, who had never really raided much, to find a team and to raid consistently, and I've just really enjoyed it.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and dive right on into this. So obviously our first day was progression, and Siege of Orgrimmar is pretty big. Sylvanas, how do you feel we got through our farm content this week?
Farm was pretty. It was good. It was fun enough. We cleared the first 8. We cleared through Nazgrim. Uh, right? Yeah, Nazgrim through on Wednesday, and then we started progression actually on Bach starting Friday. Isn't that right?
Yeah, it was Friday. That's our second day of raiding.
Yeah. So we cleared through them pretty quickly. I'd say about 3.5 hours in all. 3 hours. So
Any
I can't
major
complain.
hiccups or anything you felt, or was it all pretty smooth?
I think it was smooth. I think. Don't y'all? I don't remember.
Leave it. Do you remember any real hiccups or anything during the farm content?
I died twice on Shaw of Pride, but we one-shot him.
Okay.
I
Fair
guess
enough.
that's something.
Probably reflections, I imagine.
Those,
Yeah.
hey, I've done that before in a flex where they're like, oh, this guy knows what he's doing, and I just sat there and took it to the face like a champ. So,
Every flex dies to that. It's
well,
consistent.
when you've got somebody who's rocking the Conqueror of Orgrimmar over their head and they just stand in it and die, it was pretty funny.
God, so cool.
But yeah, so we'll start off with our actual progression. So Friday we began progression on Thok the Bloodthirsty. How do you feel that went, Sylvanas?
Shock the bloodthirsty. Well, anyways, I was kind of at the very beginning of that before we went to him. I was thinking it was gonna be a harder fight. I think we have the advantage of 2 healers and 3 paladins. I mean, silences and bops. With silence is like what is it, a flat 18 seconds of free casting?
It's like six. The bops are like I think 10 or 8 seconds. I can't honestly remember off the top of my head. And then you have the Diva auras, which were 6 seconds each time we used them.
That's what I'm
Um,
saying. 18 seconds and all with all the devos, and then we would bot both of our DPS, well, our DPS that actually like
Casted. You mean not like
cast.
Leiva, who just sat there and kind of did what he did anyway. Leiva,
Yeah,
you're probably enjoying that, watching your casters just have to worry about this. But you were like, nope, just gonna keep shooting because I'm a hunter. That's what I do. But
Yeah. Quality of life as a hunter in raids, I'd say is pretty good.
good thing they took
yeah,
away that minimum rage, or else you'd have been freaking boned. How
it's
we had it
very
set up.
true. Good God, but that was actually a really good fight. I really actually really enjoyed that. It's a new mechanic. Our main thing, and I think our main advantage was that we pushed him to 66% before we ever hit a first second phase. I think that chaining those cooldowns, chaining devos, chaining bops, being organized is the high point of that. Like I would say.
Yeah, we were definitely trying to shoot for about that 60-some%, and we had a couple pulls where we did really well, and like got to like 15 or 16 stacks of acceleration, and then we had a few I think we hit like 8 stacks or something really dumb, and it was kind
Yeah.
of bad. But
Yeah, you gotta line up. This is the thing with using devos. You have to line up healing cooldowns with them as well. So we have so many. We have 2 shamans, so we would line up healing tide for each of the first devos. And for the last devo, they would both hit ancestral guidance. Um, which is good. So I think it's just a matter of chaining those cooldowns um, for it. And those jail guys, I kept not being able to get aggro on them because I suck. They kept and then Blue this whole time was like get aggro, get aggro, get aggro, so I can
I'm so
do
used to getting
crazy
aggro
things.
myself. I was so used to it because I play a tank as well, and it was just weird having to wait for someone else to pick it up because I wanted to grab it. It's like I can't. I'm a healer right now. Leiva, was there anything really for you as a hunter to note other than you're running away from a very large and very hungry dinosaur?
Um, not really. Like I said, that fight's pretty. I think it's pretty well rounded. I mean, done for hunters. I'm searching for words here, but no, I just kind of did my thing. Was fortunate enough I have, some things I can use, some tricks if I get double fixated, which I feel like that was a problem initially was the double fixations, but we smoothed it out eventually. And for me, honestly, it was a pretty easy fight. I felt.
And didn't you say as a hunter there was something you figured out like this tonight? Me, you talked to me about. There's something you can do better.
Well, if I use my disengage glyph, I can go further with the fixations. If I spec post haste, which is a tier 1 hunter ability that gives you speed boost after you disengage, that helps. And then you can actually disengage the fixates, if I understand correctly, and he'll just fixate someone else. So that gives you about a 4-second window where he'll stop, turn around, and you can get more damage on him. So
Wait,
it's
you can
nice.
disengage them or feign
You mean
death?
feign death?
Yeah,
It's like I was gonna eat you, but I'm gonna eat this guy who's next to me instead.
yeah, basically.
So it's your
So it works for, like I said, hunter quality of life.
I mean, it's kind of
great
like a
for trolling.
bear. So
Great
if
for
you feign
trolling.
death, it really works. Yeah, that's what it
Oh
seems. I
gosh.
think, and also what we had to end up doing for that boss is the choice you have to make for that last one. If you save that fire guy or whatever,
Hmm.
you have to choose whether or not you're going to try to stick it out
Or
and be able
just
to heal
push it
through it,
early. That
or
was
just push them real early, which is what we did. I think it's what the smart thing to do for our team is.
well. We were already really close on killing him. If we hadn't been as close as we were, we probably definitely would have wanted to hold him in there for a little bit because you do get a bit of a damage buff. But where Thok was relatively simple and almost like a gear check, I'd say it was definitely a healing and DPS check. We moved on to Siege Crafter after that, which we did get in the same day. And he had a lot more fund going through, including the trash. I'm sure you
God.
remember.
Uh, yeah, the trash, that was weird. It was interesting because I think that whole thing is awesome. The coolest thing about Siege Crafter is that the guy that created it, I don't know his name or all that stuff, but the guy that actually from Blizzard that created it, that was his first ever encounter he created, which is something just really cool. But yeah, I mean, it was cool. The pipes, um, all thing I gotta say,
I
I'll
know it's
leave it to
coming.
Leva. I'll
Yeah,
leave it to Leva to talk about the
I was gonna
pipes.
ask him about that, but from your point, as not only a tank but raid leader and all the things that were going on, what were your thoughts with the progressing on that fight?
I thought it was really cool the mechanics. So the mechanics are for Siegecrafter. It's a normal taunt and switch kind of mechanic. So we taunted 3, but there's also this ad that simultaneously comes up when you get to 3 stacks. That you can only do more damage to him. Like the DPS don't attack him. It's only tanks that attack him far away from the boss. You do more damage to him the more of the debuff you have from Siegecrafter himself. And we got to the point where Hollow, our off tank, didn't have enough stacks. He was at 2 stacks, so he didn't have enough DPS in order to actually kill the thing, so he wiped. I think that was a really cool mechanic that you had to tank a boss so long in order to kill another thing. I thought that was really cool.
Something kind of
There.
keep him from solo tanking everything because he would heal if the ad got too close as well. So and
Yeah,
I know we had a
yeah.
few times with that, and you could drag it at the saw blades and stuff, and it's a lot of
Yeah, that was
interesting.
yeah. Like you interacted with the environment, which is really cool. It's just usually with taunt switches, you just taunt, and I get behind the boss and I do what DPS I can. Or they could have just made it so DPS kill that ad, but I had an obligation more than just to tank something. I had a new obligation to DPS something, which brought me out of my role and made me do something else, which I thought was really cool to have that new mechanic. Um, yeah. So I think we should just leave it to Leva to talk about the pipes.
All right, so Leva, you had a bit more of an interesting role in this fight, aside from just stand there and pew pew boss or kill an ad or something. Aside from dodging the myriad of things that could kill you,
You never played Mario.
how was your experience going on the conveyor belt and dealing with the pipe boss?
I would say the first three pulls it was pretty forgettable. And then I figured out I can just disengage off this belt and I'm good. So after that it was cool. But yeah, to my credit, I didn't die to the one hit mechanic on the belt, which is the fire lines that kind of drip down. But yeah, jumping in the pipe, I don't know. It was just had some issues with that.
Don't
Can't
worry,
really
you weren't
say
the only
why.
one. You were not the only one. I promise you. You
Blue, weren't you like at one point? Didn't you walk over
Yeah,
there?
I
Show
literally,
them.
I literally jumped into a pipe on a wipe, and I said, "Look, watch this," and I walked into the pipe off of the conveyor belt instead of trying to jump off or cheese it. We had to do a very similar thing to for my other raid group that I'm a part of, and it's kind of silly watching people screw it up. But then Leiva, like you, people find tricks and ways to get around it. Like I think Buff was using levitate to just walk off of it and stuff like that. But overall, I'd say it was a fun fight, Leiva. Wouldn't you say so? From your point, including the conveyor belt shenanigans.
I thought it was a lot of fun. I thought it was a really good encounter. The only really, I wouldn't, it is a gripe. I mean, I'm glad we killed it. I thought it could possibly be a little undertuned because, when I got off that first conveyor belt, I'm like, okay, now I can kill boss, and it's like, oh, he's at 75%. That's cool. And he just kind of, I did the conveyor belt twice, and he just kind of melted pretty quick. So,
Yeah, that
um,
was like what Levi said. I think that's really weird. Like he just died. It wasn't like we were like, yeah, we're really close. We got him like 60% like three times, and then he just died.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I don't.
it definitely wasn't the gear check that Thok was. It was definitely a mechanics check, and depending how you do that fight, like we didn't do the magnet. I think we had the magnet go through accidentally, and we saw what happened that one time where everyone just died because they didn't realize the saw blades were going to come and eat their face off. But yeah, that I think that fight's going to certainly be more interesting on heroics if how long people killing it uh, kind of shows that, and we'll kind of see how that goes on the future. But moving away from that, we finally got to go to Paragons of the Klaxi on Saturday. And this is a fight that had already been holding up a couple of groups. You want to talk about it a little bit, Sylvanas?
Yeah. I went into that fight. Oh, if you like the so we cleared well we killed Siegecrafter Friday morning at raid time, and as soon as that was over, we ended raid. We didn't even try Paragons or anything. It was just time, and I thought, this is a lot of stuff. I looked at the dungeon journal. There's like 9 bosses, and there's a bunch of mechanics. So literally that night, I was worried about it. I was writing notes down, getting ready to do all this stuff. And the more I looked at it, I found that there's just one mechanic of each ad, if there is even one, to worry about. So it's like a normal fight where there's like a few raid mechanics, and then as we were going, I had all my set number of who we're going to kill, in what order, that kind of thing. But as we were going, we would find out like, hey, we need to kill this first because of this. So my notes have like all the 9 guys in order, but then we figured this out, so I would scratch one out and put an arrow to number 4 and then number 3. Like it was, and when to pop hero. I think it was, yeah. It's just overwhelming at first. Um, but yeah, I don't think it was too bad once we figured it out. Especially those kunchungs for Kamita or Holy Pally.
Those
God.
that fight has so many parts to it, and I really enjoyed when we first went up to it. The first thing you did was basically started reading the novel that was the dungeon journal to us, and I was kind of like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. But you kept on reading, man. You wanted to read it to us,
Yeah, you.
and as much as I enjoyed my bedtime story, it was morning and we had bugs to squash. But yeah, we kind of, like you said, we worked it out a little bit, and I do like how we went through with it. Leva, how did you feel we were kind of getting, or were you there, Leva? No, that was Dazelle was there, yeah.
well, I had to conquer a boss myself, and that was the groomsman duty at my best friend's wedding. So I did that. I wish I was there with you guys, but if it's any consolation, I was Lord of the Dance. So,
Well, you get to kill him this week. How's
I
that?
think you're.
I can give you that. I'll give
That's
you
true.
to kill that. But so here's my question to you, Sylvanas. As a raid leader doing this fight, obviously a lot of working parts. Uh, How helpful was it having a person who'd actually had some grasp of the strategy already, had like already looked at it more than just, oh, well, we watched a kill video? How helpful do you think that's been?
Are you talking about how helpful it is to have you around? Is that what you're getting at?
Murder.
God, okay. So this yeah, y'all probably don't know Mr. Blue here. He has this other other team that they're like well one out of 14, one out of 13,
We'll
well,
call it
14 in a row.
Overeasy version 2,
Yeah, so he has
but
this
not
other
really.
team that they're a little bit more progressed. But he still has fun with us. But every now and then I get these times where, and we'll talk about it. I'll talk about it more with Garrosh. That Lil will step in and goes, "Man, you're just doing this wrong." I've been here before. I've seen it. He doesn't do it often. He does a great job at like just let me do my thing. But he does tell me when it's just better one way or another.
I
That
still swore I texted you the kill order, even
you
though my
didn't.
phone doesn't
So
say it. I swear I texted that to
yeah,
you.
you'd never text. So it's this dude. He goes, dude, yeah, we eventually just switched it to my strat that I told you since you're such a noob. And no, we didn't. It was my strat all along.
And then we slowly conformed it to the one that I said I texted you, but we
You,
didn't.
you, but you never texted me. But we
Alright.
digress. But yeah, that's definitely an interesting fight. With all the ads and all that crap. Tanking's it's kind of it was interesting because with that fight, there's some like one of the bugs will put a debuff on you that doesn't allow you to tank one of the other bugs successfully. Um, so it was kind of interesting mechanics, new things like math. Like oh my god, I got to tend to math. Um,
I actually noticed when I was looking through some of the footage when I was cutting the video together, that Lucid guy actually put, like, we'll say in a boss emote says, he picks Corin's 4, and that's how he links them all together. Like, there's actually some madness to it. I don't know, you don't notice in the fight because you're kind of busy, like, no, global cooldowns going swirly and stuff, and oh my gosh, raid boss thing gonna kill me. But there's actually some method to it if you want to pay attention to it next time, since all you do is pretty much just put your face to whatever is hitting you. Um, but yeah, that was I noticed that when I was going through. It's kind of funny. There is method to the madness and all of it. But if you look at it in the dungeon journal, it's just like he'll choose between these symbols, he'll choose between these signs and these colors and these numbers, and it's just like,
golly, it was really weird.
but yeah, that's a messy fight, but it should get easier. Hopefully this week we have Leiva around with us so we can actually see the fight stuff. I don't know what you've looked at on videos and stuff of it, Leiva, but it can get kind of interesting, especially when you've got someone screaming and mumble, "Get me out of this control now! Get me out! Get me out! Get me out! Get me
Well,
out!"
there was this like I don't know. Somebody made this page on Imgur. It's just like a chart of all the bosses, what they do, who needs to tend to it, and I was just like, man, I'm just gonna have to see this. I don't know. So
It's definitely one of those fights where you just need to see it.
You know what I can't wait for? Fat Boss 1 minute raid guides. Those are the best.
Oh
That's gonna be
God,
amazing. Klaxy,
does
kill
that
bugs.
exist?
I don't know for this tier. I think there's one for Tot, but
That's
we're
funny.
getting into other things. Okay, so we finally killed Paragons, and we spent half an hour killing his trash on Saturday, only to realize we ran out of raid time.
Yeah,
Um,
so we actually like after we killed Klaxy, we were like, we haven't half an hour left. We might as well get to Garrosh, but try his trash, I guess, for a half an hour. That
I
trash.
told you CC and not AOE. I told you, and
Yeah.
then Doombacon. Oh, I heard CC. I didn't hear no AOE, and everything just comes and punches us in the face. It was
Oh my God. They
brutal.
got these little puddles you got to go stand in the back. That's stupid. I don't know. They're getting too inventive with their trash.
I like it.
Uh,
It's more interesting. It's different. So I'm okay with it personally. Um, but then Monday, so we came in fresh Monday, ready to go, and we started Garrosh progression. And Leva, you were there for that too this time. Not pulling some magical mystical duty known as sleeping. I don't know what you're doing, but so Garrosh, the big bad, the final boss of this tier, already week 3, we're already bashing our face on it. How are you feeling for progression on this?
talking to me?
Yep, you are
Okay.
the raid leader.
Yeah, it's true. So we think. Well, it was a pretty good fight. I mean, we're still own it. We didn't kill it. Spoiler alert. But yeah. So that fight, I felt pretty good about it, honestly. Like before we went in there, I was like, we may kill this. I thought that. I don't know why I thought that. But I thought we have a chance here. When we got in, I thought phase one was going to be a joke, but those ads hit hard. They hit they hit incredibly hard, especially if you let them get that buff.
We had
So
Haig. We eventually kind of moved Haig in though to knock him into there, and we kind of moved Garrosh closer to the center. Not so close that Melee could not be paying attention to get hit, but we definitely moved him close enough. And with Haig sitting there, just thunderstorm him right in, and that seemed to make it pretty much trivial. The phase anyway, outside of the random tank death here and there.
yeah, it was just finalizing. I mean, like you said, I would agree with that. Doing the Hague thing, our elemental shaman would push him into the Iron Stars, so it would help with a lot of damage on the ads. Yeah, I think it also was finalizing who's killing what engineer. We eventually decided on our Shadow Priest going to kill it, so you can get there fast and back, and everybody else has better AOE. Um, that's what we decided towards our end. And we were just getting farther and farther. We eventually progressed. Our farthest one, I think, was like a 18 or 20% wipe on second phase. So we only had like, I guess, 40% of his health left if you count the 30%.
We still had all the fun parts left.
Yeah, we had everything enhanced or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so we finally did get to see those the intermissions in the second phase, and I think I vaguely remember you saying, "Oh, second phase isn't that big a deal." And then what happened, Sylv? What happened to us in the second phase?
Well, we wiped pretty fast. Uh, Well, just I think it's not that hard. I mean, we were getting used to it. Yes, it's the part of the fight that you'll spend the longest time in. I think the biggest issue is trying to get just two intermissions. If you get more than two, you're kind of screwing yourself for sure. And going through those intermissions fast because we weren't fast enough on those intermissions to let him not get a second empowered, which is that powered whirling. Is that what that is? Or is it?
The first intermission, you just got to make sure you don't get the empowered whirlwind, corruption, and the goal is to try to make it so it's so minimum that you can maybe push for, if in case you have a third intermission, you don't get the empowered mind control, but you'll get the whirling corruption after the second intermission. So you're just
That's
trying to go
right.
as fast as you can. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we'll get it this week. I honestly think the emphasis, like I don't know if we talked about it already. I don't think we did, but the emphasis on gear and how much farm content helps. I looked at our logs from this week compared to last week. Yeah, for like the Wednesday to clear, our DPS has increased 20% around the board, if not more. So the more gear we have, the easier stuff will be. The faster we'll kill farm content. The easier like Thok and Siegecrafter, which aren't farm right now. I wouldn't say they're farm at all. So we killed them once.
We've got people
Um,
still rocking Throne of Thunder weapons and stuff too, and weapons
yeah.
are a big deal, a real big
No
deal.
wait, Leiva, would you say that we have some Throne of Thunder weapons?
Yeah, my voice of the Quillen. It's pretty awesome.
Is it even
God,
heroic at least, or not even that cool?
No, no. I mean, who needs heroic loot? That's for yeah.
I
yeah,
think, do we see? I think we saw one drop into Eat It just for you. I don't remember. Maybe.
I believe y'all did.
I believe we did. Oh,
But
that's right. The first time we killed Iron Khan,
Leva wasn't
the
there.
heroic gun.
Yeah, but we started off with a keep range at range mentality at the start, or did I kind of grab that immediately and change that for the mind controls? Because those didn't
I'm
seem to
about
be
phase two.
yeah, because those didn't seem to be too big of a problem for
Oh,
us.
that was always my strat.
Uh
I'm pretty sure.
huh.
You probably don't think that, but
Okay.
yeah, that was definitely a big thing. With keeping them, putting them back in melee. I mean, that wasn't a problem. I didn't feel like until like the last few attempts where people started, I guess, not focusing as much. But if you don't get an interrupt, if you miss an interrupt, it just chains into a disaster. Especially when it's empowered because you can't stun them or CC them. You can only interrupt. But I'd say that's where a Pally is actually pretty good. Pally or a Warrior because they have AoE silences or interrupts rather. Probably a Pally more actually. But that's tank wise. But yeah.
But okay, and then but we were the big wall we started to run up against as we neared the end of our
And your
day
channel.
was definitely our was the world empowered whirling corruptions. We started to finally get used to those and how those worked. How did you feel those were the first couple times you saw them, and how do you feel we started to get to as far as managing them?
Um, I kept being a moron. That's the reason we wiped. I kept like you have this tank mentality of, oh, there's ads, pick them up. So I would use Avengers Shield. It would hit like three of them. They'd come to me. I'm like, I'm a tank. I can tank this. And no, no, they have other plans. So they smack me in the face and I die. But and that's another thing about that whole entire fight. Uh, the tank cloak is a must-have. Like Garrosh hits so hard, like 200k, 250k a second. Like I mean, he just every swing, it's saying, I have the swing of justice. He's ready to. I mean, wouldn't you say, Lil? I mean, you were healing it.
Yeah, well, to be quite honest, I may or may not have let Kamita, our holy paladin, do most of the tank healing. I was trying to do a lot more fist weaving in that fight, specifically towards the beginning, because Blackout Kick Cleave is really good. Most of my healing was Eminence healing. That said, most of the damage being taken was not from everybody else, it was from the tanks. So it wasn't entirely wasted, but I was trying to do much DPS as I could to push it, since we were
She
having
she did pretty good healing.
yeah, she kept you all up. So we weren't really having issues on that point. And if I can take the extra time to do a bit of damage, it definitely will it helps out with our group. So you feel with better management of the Whirling Corruption ads, maybe a bit more gear to help DPS. We'll get to that phase without pushing a third. And even if we do, if we kill it, push him pretty quickly afterwards, I think we'd be pretty much golden as far as that's concerned.
Yeah, yeah. What about you, Liv? What about them ads?
About the ads?
Yeah.
Well, I think we were kind of selling ourselves short by not wanting to use the Iron Star initially. That helps out a lot, and it was really simple for, Haig to pull that one off. Phase 1 we got done all right, like you said, barring the random tank death. Phase 2 was a lot harder, a lot more hectic. I just remember the first few attempts when Garrosh had his mighty axe in the air. I looked down at some of our more unfortunate melee DPS, and I knew the day of reckoning was upon them. And he swungeth his mighty axe and wipeth our raid. And then in
Are you talking about
the other phase,
Saturday when you were misdirected or something, or what?
no, this is Monday.
Who was it then?
When we were in the whatever the realm, he just swings his
Oh yeah,
hammer
the
indiscriminately
intermission
or his
phases.
axe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the ads we could do a lot better on that. I was taunting, trying to misdirect some to our other ranged, but definitely a few times from the empowered corruptions, the ads got a little out of control. But yeah, other than that, I think it's just repetition. I'm confident that we can get it this week. I thought we had good progression, so I was sad we didn't get to see phase 3 because apparently that's just nuts. But yeah, like I said, I feel pretty good about it. So
Yeah. That's the same way I feel.
Okay,
I think,
so
yeah.
that's going to bring us into the our last little bit then. This week, all we have left for normals is Garrosh. We have a full week of clearing to do for gear and whatnot. How do you think that will affect our chances on Garrosh this week, Sylph?
Just depends what drops. It depends what people would do on their rolls. Like their actual like bonus gear rolls. We need gear. That's the best thing you can get is more gear, more DPS, more heals, more tank. I mean, it's just tremendous and just crazy how much gear can help you. And I think it's going to help Garrosh even more. Having more gear, the ads will die faster, transitions will go by quicker. We'll come in there with a fresh mind, knowing the fight, not having first day nervousness is kind of what you get with progression. You're like, oh, I kind of know this stuff, but I haven't experienced it, which is a totally different thing. So I think having that good feeling having that good feeling is coming in. We should clear through Malkarok. I'm hoping the first 9 we kill tomorrow morning, since Lil hates us and he's leaving an hour early. But yeah, and then we'll hopefully get to him on Friday. Get some good progression on him.
Leva, how do you feel about this week with a little bit more gear and some more attempts on Garrosh? How do you think it'll go?
I think it'll go well. I mean, barring any setbacks, with Doc or like Paragons, but I feel pretty good about it. I think I need to start kind of a grassroots campaign. Just get the chat room involved. Say, hey, let's get Leiva a ranged weapon and his other tier pieces because then he can explosive shot all the bosses down, and I'll have like 100 ticks of explosive shot, and be doing like
Yeah.
100 million DPS.
You get right on that, Leva. We'll be behind you 100%.
Yeah, I just figured you got to start everything from the bottom, and so just getting the chat room involved. Let's make that happen for me this week. But yeah, definitely. I think things will get a lot easier. We have some DPS tinkering, trying different specs, myself included. So, once we get everything optimal for farm content and just, the faster we get through it, the more gear we get, then I think, we'll be in heroics pretty quick. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, if Sylv, you have any final words before we go?
Um, I hope we do it. I really hope we do. I want to kill Garrosh. The faster we get into heroics, that's where the real battle begins. Killing them heroic bosses. But all in all these SOO is great. Siege of Orgrimmar is fantastic. I'm loving it, especially as a tank. I mean, it's my only perspective is as a tank, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it, especially Garrosh. Oh, it's such a great encounter. I think towards the end, and it's really cool seeing a fight before it comes out in LFR. So Lei Shin was pretty good, but I think Garrosh is a little bit better in my opinion, just because I never saw him pre what we're doing now, which is what I wanted back in WoW. Like I wanted that back. I wanted to make this team so I could do that because I could have this feeling of, hey, I killed a boss before I ever saw it. That new progression is just so much fun. I'm loving Garrosh. I don't know about y'all, but I love the fight.
Leva?
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I like it. I'm getting more into the lore, so, fighting Garrosh is definitely, I mean, just the epicness of it all has been great because I know some people that are more into the lore will argue with me, but the Thunder King, like I just never got into that whole story. I know I don't read all my quest texts. I'm missing out, but
You don't read
it's
quest
definitely.
text? You fiend.
I know, I know. I'm trying. I'm going back and leveling some mobs, trying to remedy this problem. But definitely, I'm more into it. I mean, we're in Ogremar. We're invading Ogremar, and it's really cool. I played Horde most of my time, and just being back in Ogremar to some capacity is pretty cool to me. So I'm enjoying the hell out of it, like Sylv, and can't wait to get this bastard down and get into heroics. So.
Right. I kind of feel similar on the Orgrimmar thing because I also used to be a Horde back before I really got into Dragon Soul. Oh, I miss being Horde, and it's kind of nice to be running around the old place. And like Gammon, we did the Gammon achievement. Remember that? Gammon
We
truly
did do the carrot.
Gammon truly saved us all. And when I say Gammon saved us all, Gammon let me meter pad because why not? but
Yeah.
but all right, that is it for us this week. Wish us the best of luck here. You can follow Sylvanus at his Twitch page at Sylvanus underscore CTR. What's your Twitter, Sylvanus?
Same thing. At Sylvanus underscore CTR.
And then Leva, do you have a tweeter or anything you want to get out there?
Um, no, if all the fan mail you can just direct to me in game. That's cool with me.
Bat Guano, Levia. If you want to send more Bat Guano. If Darius is too
You
boring
spelled it
for you,
wrong.
did I? Oh well. Send
Leiva, I think. Right?
Grand Paul.
Oh.
Just send it to Grand Paul.
Yeah, just send it to
Darius can
Grandpa.
have it anyway. But you can follow me here at twitch.tv/DragonsUser55. Also at my Twitter, which I just redone, if you didn't notice, Sylv, at Kagurite underscore LeBlue, Kagear. Nope. I'm going to quit on
It's a
spelling
lot
that.
of letters.
Yeah, it is. So I'm not going to spell that. So F you guys. You can figure it out. We will see you again next week, hopefully victorious with Death of Garrosh. Wish the other teams who are also working on Garrosh the best of luck. Hopefully the CTR as a guild is the first 10-man on the server to get it. And we will see you all later. So, adios, everyone.